Welcome back to the second quarter of a full quarter program. A little different makeup, but I think it's working real good. We get to catch our breath, and we're going to show some pictures right now real quick of the
Go ahead, Mark. There you go.
Supper that I attended, and I was the MC for the public school jamboree coming up on Friday night, tomorrow night. And these are some pictures with my little cell phone, and it does a nice job.
Coach Perron.
Coach Perron. Tom Dodge, and one of the coaches. And here's Coach, I still call him Coach. But Bill Dupre, Principal Port Barry, and Dr. Johnson from OHS. And there's some of the chefs that provide the delicious meal. They do a brisket. I mean, you don't even need a knife to eat the brisket.
All from the Eunice area.
From the Eunice area, that's correct.
In the background, I see Coach Mac
Mistrick, yep. And then here is Mr. Broussard, and of course he's one of the elders on the program and does a great job, along with, I think the next picture is the crew working hard inside, getting ready to serve up that delicious food that they provide to us, thanks to the Eunice group.
Y'all had a huge turnout.
Big turnout every year. Good turnout. And at the end, I complimented them for being so attentive. You know, sometimes if the program isn't running just smoothly, you start having that chitter-chatter in the back, and pretty soon they overcome the speakers. But I complimented them. They did a great job. They I guess, probably they talk to their students that way to try to keep them quiet, and they behaved, I want to add. And this is a transplant to Eunice, and Coach Trusclair, and he's of course from Opelousas, but been at Eunice High and has a great record over at Eunice High. And this was, must have been maybe on I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, a day of the week is right. And this is the Jim Bowie Oak, right near the Palace Cafe. And this particular picture, I got down, and when I got out of my car, I met this young man and his young daughter, Camille, and the young man, of course, is Gerard Martin. And he is from here, his grandpa. I said, would you happen to be kin to Mr. Raymond Martin? He said, that was my grandfather. And of course, his grandfather was the manager of the local FHA housing department here, and Cody, when he graduated from college, went to work for them for a little while. Oh, really? And so I kind of asked him about it, and then Freddie Herpin was across the street, got out of his vehicle, and he took a picture of us, and then he came up close, and I got a picture of Freddie and Gerard and Miss Camille, and then Freddie ran the picture of yours truly, Bobby Dupre, Gerard, and Miss Camille.
And you said he lives in Montreal now?
Montreal, and she is from Montreal. Her mother lives there permanently, and Gerard is in and out as often as he can. That's correct, and she was spending some of the monthly time here. And this is a group at yes, they walked in, and we were sitting in the bar area having lunch, and I think that day was Carl DeVille. And I could tell that that was not the entrance they wanted, but a waitress saw it right away, brought them around, seated them here, and on the way to the bathrooms, I saw the couple, and I don't know if I said French words first, but right away she and I started talking and conversing in French. So I'm saying good morning to Miss Natalie Michelou and Mr. Gerard Poquet. Poquet, yeah, close enough. And they from the Paris, France area. And they were enjoying themselves in our area here. They were on the way to Homer, Louisiana. From Homer, they were going up to Natchez, Mississippi, to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and then the conversation ended at that point. But very nice, and she and I understood her very well, and she said she understood my French very well.
She probably was just being kind.
Well, that could
Well, no, you've been
well
practicing,
be.
though. You've been going to...
I went to the...
La Table over
La
in
Table
Arnoldville.
français in Arnaudville.
Yeah.
Comment ça va ce matin, Madame Nathalie, Monsieur Gérard?
There you go.
Tout quelque chose est bon. Si tu vas voir ton portrait, tu peux dire tes amis et ta famille pour voir le show. Ils avaient un bon dîner à Préjean's restaurant.
They got good ones
à
there.
Caron-Croix, Louisiane. Good morning.
And if you want to speak French as fluently as Bobby Dupre, we got a La Table Français coming up here in Opelousas at Le Vieux Village. It'll be next Wednesday, August 29th from 8:30 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning. Go to the Whiteville Schoolhouse there on the grounds. Coffee and free conversation. Come on by. If you want more info, call 948-6263. See how I snuck that in?
On Wednesday morning, that interferes with us. Right now, this is why we can't go. We tape it.
You want to keep going with Préjean's. You had this lady here was Sally.
Miss Sally Baudelaire, and had made friends with her in an earlier visit, and very friendly, good staff over there. Biker Bob Gilbo runs a tight ship over there. And then right after I talked with her, took her picture, Pat and Mara Mouton came by to say hello. They watched the program, but also Pat and I go way back to SLI. How about that? And also another person I saw that I didn't get a picture, and I apologize, is Phil Prejean from Port Barre, because he was offered his condolences to the death of John, who was his school principal many, many years ago.
Your
Phil
brother,
and
for
his
people
wife
watching us for the
live.
first time.
They live in Baton Rouge, I think it is, Phil. But I see Phil and his wife occasionally. I've got something here.
Get back to us, Mark. I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Saw Philip Andrepont from Andrepont Printing Company. Saw him at the Elks Lodge last night, and he had something that he went to get in his car, and it's a good little record, a medical record he calls it, personal medical record, and then it's got the inside personal information, your name, your address, your home phone, your work phone, cell phone, emergency contact name, primary physician, pharmacy used, and then you go inside and you list all of your medication. Because when you get in an accident or you have a mild heart attack or something and they rush you, you kind of get confused. So if you have this in your billfold, it doesn't take up much space. You can easily put it, and then you have other information,
your blood type,
and what hospital you've been in last. Cause
might be the difference.
That's correct. They can get those records immediately by way of the internet.
Let me sneak a couple.
So I want to thank Philip and his office there for this beautiful little informational card.
And you can get a free card probably at your local drugstore. They got them out. Andrepont's got them all around town.
Good. Thank you.
Steamboat Warehouse. Get mama away from the smell of her own cooking. Go by and get you some good Louisiana seafood, some great Angus steaks, all prepared by chef owner Jason Hugay down there at the Steamboat Warehouse. Beautiful atmosphere. You can sit out on the wharf. You know, it's trying to cool off a little bit. We're getting a couple of those cooler breezes are trying to come in. Fall, you can smell fall is not far away. You can enjoy yourself out on the wharf there, enjoy an adult libation, great wine selection, great menu over at the Steamboat in Washington. And one more, let's go with Targale Seasoning. Go to Targale here in town. You get seasoning supplies, butcher, kitchen supplies. You can get cutlery as well, all right here in the center of Opelousas. You can go to targale.com to look at the different things they offer and order it. And it's everything from spices if you want to just buy a little bit to mix at home. If you're a commercial type place, if you're a grocery store, maybe it's your outdoor kitchen, you can buy bigger bulk type stuff. They'll even do labeling and provide your own packaging. So if you want to use it for marketing purposes, for sales purposes, they do everything there at Targale Supply.
I think it was last week or the week before, I commented that you and I do quite a few projects together, and people thank me and what I've done and all of that, when in fact the real work is done by you. I commented that you should get the credit, and a few days later in the Morning Advocate, the bottom line is they have this little cartoon comes up pretty often. It says, remember, it's a team effort. Andrew. You do the work and I take the credit. Just remember that, Andrew.
It works.
And that's actually, I cut this out a couple of days after I mentioned that on the program, and that's a true fact, and I like to be honest about it.
Well, we
Andrew
both work
really
on it.
helps out. Well, we work on it, but when it comes to the technical computer, one of these days when I get older,
and you slow down in half
when
time.
I slow down in halftime, you're going to give me a little hour.
We're going to bring Larry Leger with us.
Larry Leger offered to give me a 1-hour course, and he said that I'd be able to handle a computer, pretty much get in and out and do quite a few things in 1 hour.
You just about run one down the iPhone. I mean, you look up stuff on the internet, you do all kind of things.
Yeah,
So
I'm starting slowly.
Friday, September the 7th, over at St. Landry Catholic Church is the annual Father LaFleur Memorial Mass. It's at 6:30 p.m. The celebrant this year is going to be, I have that on one of my cards. You got it on your card. It's going to be Father who? I knew it, and I've forgotten. It'll come to me. It's somewhere on there. It may not be on there. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Glenn Provost, the Bishop of Lake Charles, is coming in. I knew somebody big will be coming in who used to be at Fatima in Lafayette. He'll be coming and celebrating the Mass. So 6:30 p.m. Friday, September the 7th. Come down to St. Landry Church. If you're military, please come and
okay, let's do a few more. Well, wait, before we do any more pictures, I had the opportunity of speaking to Blake Kerrville, who heads up the Bayou cleanup of Bayou Teche. And
Cajuns for Bayou Teche, I think
Cajuns, yep, for Bayou Teche plan to work, and they have worked on it last Saturday. I called him earlier this morning, had a nice conversation, introduced myself, had never spoken to him. We mentioned about this project every year, and he said that he had a number of volunteers. He had 5 boats that came, and they picked up quite a bit of trash. Not as much because they were going over an area that had been cleaned before, and he says that people are really not throwing the big heavy parts and trash like they used to throw before this. So he wants to thank everybody, and I want to thank he and all of his volunteers, and maybe one day we could look at Bayou Catawba around the Washington area, heading towards where Boy Scout Troop is over there. There was some bad trees that had fallen, and it would take a little bit of work, but it could easily be done. And if it hasn't been done, I'm going to ask him to come and look at this with us.
Give us some ideas.
Thanks, Blake, and all the other volunteers.
How about one other thing? While we're talking about the LaFleur Monument over at St. Landry Church, I know they're taking donations to replace the big flags there. If you want to help out, Kenneth Thibodeau, 942-2736. A set of flags is about $250, but they take any donation because they got to change those every year. You know, they whip in the wind.
I don't think I cut an article out, and I may have, but I'm going to speak from what I remember this morning's paper. The Zydeco bicycling will not be taking place in the future. They're going to have a new group is forming up, and it's going to be a long ride, but they're going to use the historic same route that the Bayou Teche group uses for the canoe trips.
That's correct.
And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful ride. It should be just as interesting, and we'll bring you.
It's going to be October 5th. It's going to start in Port Barry. So just to
update you. Good. So you had read that too.
I sure did.
So we'll try to keep you posted, and we certainly want to do anything we can to get it accomplished.
And we're going to take that 1-minute break at halftime. We're going to see you folks on radio and TV on the other side of 1 minute.